Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, apparently. Um, is that snow? Hello, and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. Dukasoft is here. Dukasoft. How's it going? Happy Friday to anyone that might be within earshot. If you are, I apologize for my vulgarity. Happy Friday. That's what I said. Just trying to get my audio back. Hang on a moment. Interesting. My shout out clips were set to monitor only. I mean to mute output. Hello, coding with Scott. Konnichiwa. Okay, got all of that taken care of. I need to move my windows around because I just stopped working. Put my work to the side. For a moment. There you go. That goes over there. That goes. Excuse me. What happened to Teams? There you are. Okay. I still have quite a bit of normal workday work to do coming up after the stream, but for now, guess what? It is Community Day. And what Community Day means is as much distractions as can happen will happen, but also I will hop into the stream voice channel, set up my output to make sure it comes through on the stream like that. I don't even know if my OBS plugin for Discord is working anymore. No clue. All right, and then this thing goes over here, probably way over here. This thing goes down here for das Bot. Bereitekrik. Fine man. It's testing day. It's testing day. It is testing day. Does anyone want to be the designated test architect? Anyone at all? Come up with a strategy for us. Help us decide where to start. I guess we really do need, I could have found a way to put this off for a minute, put off testing for a minute. We're going to get to it. I just don't want to. I mean, I want to because I really, really want to get used to doing it and establish a good methodology as a full stack developer for the entire Gambit. I mean, I would very much prefer an entire team of developers where each one is specialized. But for projects like this, just being just us, we kind of got to do the whole thing. Okay, that's open. I can show my desktop now. Here we are. So we've been playing with this financial management tracker application. The most recent thing that we did was set up a few models for our data entry forms. We haven't really hooked up validation or anything like that, but at least it's prepared for it. The things that we have done, however, have prepared us to move on to the next portion, which is all of our, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for words. I can't find words. We need to design our server front-end communication link up thing. Then we can write all of the tests for our code that we will be implementing for the backend services and stuff, right? So let's come up with a plan. I'm going to have a few resources open real quick. Number one is that GitHub repo for the project that Dukesoft so kindly posted in chat. Oh yeah. So I guess the last part. So I went on to talking about the project. The last part that I forgot to mention about Community Day is today is a day that I invite any one of you. That's right, you, the wonderful viewers of this stream, who are beautiful, handsome, all of the above, none of the above, to hop into our Discord, join the stream waiting room, and if you feel like it, I'll pull you into the remote stream where you can discuss any topic that is of interest to you. I'll try to hang with you in the discussion. No promises, especially if it's in a field of technology that I don't quite have very much knowledge about. But if you want, you can hop in there and we can discuss some technology, preferably .NET, preferably Blazor, preferably Maui, the upcoming release of .NET 7. These are all fair topics at the moment, but then if we don't have anyone that really wants to discuss those types of things, then you could also share any projects that you're currently working on, discuss any topics related to projects that you are doing that are like, hey, here's this cool framework, here's this cool library that I found that's helping me do XYZ. And then after that, if no one wants to do that, then we can just start talking about more general, more broad projects. Like, what are you doing this weekend? But always, the entire time, and just about any stream anyway, if you want to discuss any of these just in chat, then you can type. I will respond with voice. I will read it out. You can respond in chat for anyone else that wants to respond to that conversation, and we'll just have some good conversation. This will be formalized eventually, but it's just so busy right now. Like, I'm seriously thinking that I'm gonna need to spend another 3 hours. I think I need to spend another 3 hours after my normal work day reviewing a document. Which is cool. It's good. Yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. Speaking of, I do need to check to see if I got a response. Here is my response. Has been considered. Cool. Okay. My feedback has been considered. Very good. Okay, so let's get started then. I'll try to keep my eye on the remote stream room, but if I don't notice you in there, then not remote stream waiting room, then I will. If I don't notice that you're in there, then let me know, and then I'll pull you into the stream room. Of course, if you do want to use your voice, it'll come through on stream, and I would ask that you just are considerate of the audience in this channel, which we're all pretty laid back, pretty chill. So I don't really have any concerns with you guys. Okay. Itchy. My hip is itching like crazy. Today's exercise that we did was a Pilates type thing, and it was so good. There were so many unique exercises that I hadn't done before, but my legs are feeling it. I don't want to stand anymore, but I'm gonna stand because it's what I do. Okay, so planning. This another response. Cool. Cool. Very cool. Man, I have so much trouble wording this. Like, there's someone else that is participating in the effort, and they are doing a lot of the same type of review as me, like grammar, wording, phrasing, clarity, concisement, conciseness. But it's also kind of like on top of their existing workload. So I don't really want to. I just want to get a feel for what they had already planned to do without making them feel like they aren't doing something that they should be doing. Because it's all like, it's only if you have time, then provide feedback, provide the grammar. It's like a peer review kind of thing. Um, but I just wanted to know what they're going to be working on so that I'm not doing double effort. But if they weren't planning on doing anything, I also want them to feel like it's okay for them to not have anything planned. I think that was conscientious conciseness mint is what Captain Commerce says. And hello, Captain Commerce. Uh, Man, good people today. So many good peoples. All of you who might be lurking, thank you, thank you, thank you for your energy, for being here. And those of you that are talking in chat, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, can we look forward to a stream tonight, Cap? Yep. I will most likely be there as usual, but in the shadows, quietly, giving you my energy. Hey, wait, my Discord thing is working. Look, it's up there in the corner. It's right up here. Yay! I don't remember seeing that lately. Yes, I think I'll be on, just not exactly sure when. Just yet. I transposed two words, but same thing. This will be the first Friday stream since the accident. I mean accident, sorry. I mispronounced it. Unless that's pronounced as shident, like most ASCI words. Tukusov said that he sees it. He sees it. As Wait, that one's even harder to pronounce because now if it's Italian, then it's very ash word. Accident. Accident. I believe that's how that would be pronounced. But the real pronunciation is accident. Unless it's escadent, I mean ascident, or ascident, or and there are many ahoys going around. Let's all wear our captain hats today. Where are my emojis? Ahoys, ahoys all around. Ahoys for you, ahoys for you, Paschetti for you. Yes. All right, so what I'm gonna accidentally do, so I gotta axe what happened. Digasoff wants to know what the accident was. accident was. My wife busted her elbow almost 2 weeks ago, so I've been playing caretaker and stuff. Awesome. Awesome. So awesome of you to be there for her. I love hearing that. That's cool. I feel jazzy today. Do you feel jazzy? What was that wind? Hope she feels better now, or at least soon, says Dukasoft. You guys have the best wishes for each other. Bestest peoples ever. I'm not doing anything, am I? I'm just kind of moving the mouse on the screen, like always, because I really don't know where to start on this. What I would like to look at is the UI, the plan that we have for what the application can do, or should be able to do. Maybe the MRTK. Wait. Yeah, let's just switch to the HoloLens today. I might be doing a lot of HoloLens related things for the next 2 weeks, or I guess AR related things. A reminder, redeems Irish's cursor thing. That I don't know that I'd be able to handle it as gracefully as him. I get so lost on my screen already, and I lose the mouse so easily that having that many cursors, oh my goodness. Even just one other cursor, I'd be like, which one is mine? Oh my goodness. It's so much fun. Start with the highest priority issue on my Kanban board. This is what my Kanban board looks like. I always forget what the name of the one that we were trying to use. It's called Leet Code. It's called Lexus. It's called no, not Gyro. The early popular one. We already have a community board on it, and I can never remember what it's called. Do I have any better Kitty stuff? Trello. Good grief. Thank you, Captain Commerce. That's Shadowstone. Breakkeeper Rubber. Yeah, I probably just need to create a stream folder. I only have a couple of bookmarks. Interviewing stuff. Yeah, okay, so we'll create a stream folder. And I will put Trello in there so that I can remember, not Shadowstone. So I can remember where we put this. Hello, Dillinger. Oh my goodness. It's been a while. How are you? This one, maybe? Does anyone know? What did I use? Try and try again. Maybe it was I am listening. Maybe it was I am listening. No. No, it wasn't. Dag. Sign out. It's gotta be either Lion Cruise or H Cruise. Been really busy with this software development job you got. Really loving it. What kind of work do you get to do? What kind of projects? I love hearing about this. And of course, today is Community Day. So if you feel like using your voice to talk about this, then just hop into the stream waiting room and I will. Why are you telling me to create my account? I know that I have an account on Trello that we were using. The post URI is too large. What I'm trying to say is if you feel like talking about this using your voice and having your voice come through on stream, you can just hop into the stream waiting room in Discord and I will pull you into the coffee mugs and patinas. This one, please. So I didn't. Maybe I put it somewhere in. Somewhere in Discord. Ideas and feedback. Events. No, wouldn't have been in events. Resources. Current projects and improvements. Nope. So I know that I shared a while ago with everyone a Trello board for our ideas. Some time ago so that we could have one place where we can put stream project ideas and then we were supposed to vote on them. And yeah, I wanted to use that as the group, as the place. Huh. For for this project. Anyway. And it's science streams as well. So Dillinger responded by saying, working on 2 different projects at the same time. A dashboard showing the status of VBA automation macros and a small TMS system for our domestic departments. TMS, time and management system. You didn't use GitHub issues? I don't think I did. Maybe. It's entirely possible. Repos, stream samples would have been where I put it. Issues? No, I did not. I'm sure that it was a Kanban board. I just don't remember which application. I was like 99% sure that it was Trello. And I've never used Jira or Jira, however it's pronounced. So I'm certain it wasn't there. Transport management system, such as in a freight planning system with invoicing against the haulers. Awesome. Well, that's really annoying. Altasian. Excuse me. Do you have any other emails for me? At Lazian. I know how to read. At Lazian says changes to terms of service. Okay, so Trello was migrated to Atlassian account. My assumption is that that board did not get migrated with it. Okay. I need to transport me some coffee. Burb. Awesome. And Captain Converse is going to burb too. Oh. So again, science streams. I mean, the length I was lurking on your channel last night, but I was super duper busy. I had many conversations with one of my team members for this effort that we are working on. And so it was just a duper super busy time. My duper super busy time. Maybe this will work. What? Might still have a busy super duper busy time. I just got some more messages that I might need to respond to. Okay. Okay, did that pull my board over? Did that? Did that? Hello? Hello, boards? No, I did not pull the board over. I know that I had a shared board. I just don't know how to find those. That's sad. We had a whole bunch of ideas on there. Wait, I think I might know. I might have used automated realms. Or Berukuri. I think it was Berukuri. I think it was Berukuri. My Berukuri. Haha. Haha. I found it. I knew he had it. Oh geez, this background. Okay. So, right. That's cool. Yay, Tainted Grail. AI that reads what is on the screen and knows what you are streaming. That sounds hard. Clone Nick the first one. Make brainstorms. I could have sworn that the financial management app was on here. Oh well. No financial management app for me. Wah, wah. Okay, so I'm going to use this one to put this board, and I'll have to remember that we are using Barukuri for all of this wonderfulness. But yeah, Dillinger, that does sound like a lot of fun. I guess I'm assuming that your VBA scripts have a way to communicate their status to some central location, and that's how you have a dashboard for how they're functioning. Workspace. This workspace has 10 boards remaining. But how many people can I invite to my workspace? Um, Copy. Okay. I don't know why you would want to, but if you want to, you could join this workspace on Trello. This list. Oh man, I should have used a template. How do I apply a template to this list? I mean, to this board. I think I was supposed to apply the template first. Whatever. Create for me an agile board, and I will steal the listices. Ooh, does this seem backwards to anyone? This does not seem to be like a good agile board to me. It looks messy. It looks messy. Imho. All right. I'm gonna delete that one. I don't like that one. How do I delete? And excuse me, how do I delete a bard? How do I delete a bard? Close board. Permanently delete board. I found it. Okay, fine and man. What kind of backgrounds do you have? This is important. Custom background. I want the one without the day number on it. Do I have one of those? Mm. Haha. Man, that font on top of that though. No, we'll just go with the solid color for now and call it good. Pretty. Oh my goodness, this makes me think money so much. Um, what columns are usually in these boards? Oh my goodness, I suck at this. We got something like backlog. No, backlog is the entire thing. Um, I can't think of category names at the moment. There was definitely an in progress. Uh, Needs review. Complete. Um, what's the first column called? That you just list all of the things that are upcoming. Upcoming. Obviously. Okay, so upcoming. Pending. 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 Pending's a better one. In progress, waiting. So is waiting needs review, or is that the on hold that I saw on the other board? I kind of like the on hold phrase. Can't forget needs. He Dukasoft. Done. So this will be ongoing. If you're waiting for a response, it's different than needs review. Oh. So it's more like pending feedback. We'll figure out what to put in there. And then we'll have some processes because we're good like that. That'll move things that are older than a sprint into stale. And yeah. Do we want another board as well for like user stories and epics? Okay, so here's here. Yeah, it was that one. Here's what this app should do. Users should be able to track the various financial accounts and the transactions and balances for each of them. Users should be able to set up recurring debits and credits. So let's look at them one at a time, actually, because this is a pretty big one. This is like 16 different items in itself. So users should be able to track various financial accounts. So we need to develop UI for adding, updating accounts. Develop backend processes. I don't know why I capitalized backend processes for adding, updating what random capitalizations everywhere. Adding, updating accounts. Yep, dating accounts. Can you group within? No. It would have been cool to have like subgroups inside of this, but I guess each card itself is the. Oh, right. I guess we would have separate. I see. Let's try this instead. This would be set up account management. And this would have items. Isn't there a way to add tasks? Add a checklist. That's good. Work items. UI for adding, updating accounts. Backend processes for adding, updating accounts. API endpoints for adding, updating accounts. Application logic services for adding, updating accounts by calling API endpoints. Endpoints. Okay, I like this better. That didn't save. Wait, yes it did. What? Didn't look like it did. Cap all the things. Cap all the things. Cool. So I think that that's good. Let's then. I actually want to delete instead of archive. How do I actually? You can't. There is no such thing as deleting cards. I would like to move this to the garbage. How do I do that? It's so weird. You archive it to delete it, obviously. Cool. So this is probably where we're going to start, which is doing the account management stuff, being able to add and remove or add and update accounts. No. Kappa, kappa. I don't even know what that is. So like I see all of these emotes and memes and stuff, and I have no idea what their origins are, nor am I really interested in it. Right. I have a meeting today at 12:30. That was just scheduled at 10:55. 25 minutes ago. All right, so I'll be ending the stream just a couple minutes early so that I can make it to that meeting on time. Good. Okay. And there's this guy. And Captain Commerce is being butt spot. Dugasoft says Kappa or Kappa is widely used on Twitch in chats to signal you are being sarcastic, ironic, trolling, or otherwise playing around with someone. Kappa, kappa. It's the trollolololol song. Skip. Skip. What else were we doing? We need to set up transaction functionality. Transaction what? Transaction logging functionality. And of course, you know that this is the financial term transaction, not the database term transaction. So, yeah, keep that in mind if you come to the board and want to contribute and do stuff on here. And of course, you can always, you put on your best kappa face and come in here and screw with the entire board. But I trust all of you. Every single one of you, I trust. Oh my gosh. So inside of setup transaction logging, this is where we need to set up the backend functionality stuff. The problem with doing this, by the way, in this format where I have a checklist for each of these is I'm the type of person that will do all of the UI work up front, and then I'll do all of the backend work and then the hooking the two up together. So I'm kind of doing all of these in parallel. So it's not granular enough for me. So maybe I will just keep these as actual cards. And if anyone has, better recommendations for me, then I'll take it. Cuz I don't really know. I don't really know, dude. 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 And basta. So I will archive you so I can delete you. I will archive you so I can delete you. And so we will do UI for inputting transaction events. And then I will add items to this one specifically for each of the individual events because I did them all at the same time, which are in the order of work items. Big O of deposits. No, I missed. Transfers. That's probably what happened with that other one where I clicked off of it and didn't save, but then I went back and it looked like it had kept the changes. Oh, geez, I completely forgot about that too. I got a message in Teams for this. Oh, okay. What's the other one that we have? Payments. The thing, obviously. Does this need to be saved, or can I close you and you're okay? Now I'm questioning everything. All right, I'm gonna put you in there. I'm gonna put you in there. Our next one is the backend processes for storing transaction data. API endpoints for storing transaction data. Application logic. Services for sending and retrieving transaction information. Now it's information. Is it Financial Friday? Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. I'm stuck on the words. It is. It's also Community Day. I will be ducking out about 15 minutes earlier than I normally do for my regularly scheduled streams because I just had a meeting scheduled for 12:30 and I want time to make sure that I'm prepared for it. And I would also like to grab a snack because I'm starting to get hungry. When you wake up and start work at 4:30, 11 o'clock feels like almost the end of the day. What was I doing? You've been picking berries. And what kind of berries were you getting today? And also doing JavaScript. Awesome. If you guys didn't know, Prog Testing does a lot of homegrown foods. I'm going to say a lot. And so he makes a lot of his meals out of stuff that he grows, which is so cool. It's so awesome. And there's a market. He gets fresh veggies and fruits and stuff. Jealous. I mean, I get semi-fresh stuff with Blue Apron, and it tastes so much better than grocery store foods. Oh my goodness. Hello, the Z-Man. Hello, hello, hello. This needs to minimize so I can see Discord. There you go. Another day, folks, and hello again, says the Z-Man. I already forgot what I was trying to add for this. There's something to do with updating. That's what it was. I was trying to update this because it's not just storing the endpoints, or it's not just creating the endpoints for storing, but also and retrieving transaction data. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. And so once again, keep in mind that transaction data here and transaction information here is referring to financial transactions. JavaScript fetch is nice, yeah. I was almost like I haven't been using Java much since the shift, I'm gonna call it, shift to fetch came into play. So I was using jQuery with Ajax. A lot. But now having fetch in vanilla JavaScript and not even needing to pull in the jQuery library, pretty lightweight, pretty easy. Or good old XML HTTP request, XHR. What else am I missing here? So we don't have this, but we do have this. So I'm going to say that the UI itself is done for these. And we will go ahead and move it into needs review. We don't have this, but actually I'm not even working on that at the moment. I said we were going to move to some backend stuff, so I don't want to lie to you. The backend stuff that we'll start with is the adding and updating accounts. It will be possible, yes. I'm kind of wanting to get through the first draft of it, but I don't know if you want to. It is available on GitHub. Just clone it and then do a pull request. I'll review it. This board is also available. Maybe I don't know. I kind of want to give you guys access to this board as members so that you can update the board. But, you know, this is the internet. And the chat is, what's the word? Yeah, so I guess just let me know if you want to be invited to the board, but if you want to add items or anything like that, I guess we can do that through GitHub issues, and then I'll add them to the board. Actually, I'm doing hardware testing right now. Ooh, what kind of hardwares? Are you doing the camera vein reader stuff? Blood vein. I'm having so much word troubles today. Oh my goodness. Dickasoft says, you sure are. To prog testing, who said, I'm cool. Almost. Almost prog testing says. So I took a stab in the dark. Yeah. You had to buy 16 terabytes of storage? For what? Oh my goodness. Oh, machine learning. Oh my goodness. The amount of space training takes. Absolutely. And not just that, you can't really put that on a spinny disk and pray for the best. So it has to be, most likely it has to be solid state. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and start moving forward with this backend processes thing because I'm not doing anything. I'm not even putting stuff on the board. So yeah, I'll share the link for viewing this board. We'll do that. We'll create a link for viewing. I can't create a link for viewing. I can't create a link for viewing. Probably because the board is set to workspace visible. Oh, you have to have a premium account for observers. Kind of looks like. Okay, I understand. I get it. But yeah, just let me know if you want to join this and I will give you, so I'm assuming it created a brand new link than the one that I provided in chat earlier. But let me know and I'll give you the link through a direct message or private message or whatever it's called. And then you'll have access to the board. Otherwise, just do a GitHub issue and then I'll try to put that in the board, in the Borg, in the Borgs. Okay, so the question then is, which approach should we take when we're writing our backend logic? We have two. Oh yeah, you're right. So prog testing was saying if you're using Azure Cognitive Services to do your machine learning, it's like $1,000 per hour. So it's probably just better to go ahead and buy your own hard drive to put the software on, or to put the training data on. But the other thing that you won't have is all of their GPU farm stuff. $1,000 for 16 terabytes. But it's a one-time investment. Plus $3,600 for your Titan graphics card. Or maybe it's more than that. I don't know. I don't know how much graphics cards cost. Digasoft says, guess I'm not quite ready for the machine learning adventure. You could still learn how to do machine learning and data processing, but using a platform as a service, yeah. Probably not for that. But the learning portion you can do. Training, I guess, is what it's called. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to come up with a. We have a few approaches that we can take for our backend logic. We could create a repository kind of approach that will provide the data. But if we do it that way, then we're essentially creating one repository per table that will do all of the operations regarding CRUD. Do all of the CRUD operations. I could have just said it simpler like that. Or we can do my favorite approach, which I am leaning to, unless someone is just like, we absolutely have to do repository pattern, which is the service, which is essentially microservices that are for this domain. Then you can get this amount of data. So I'll have a transactions domain, an account management domain, and a lookup list management domain. Yeah, oh my goodness. You did a lot of investing in this dream, Dukasoft, and I really appreciate you. You talk like you were doing it for selfish means, like getting that badge, but you're just a nice person and very cool. The things we do to be cool, says protesting. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, unless someone has a absolute must needs do it this way, I'm choosing to go the services route. You've given back a lot more than you've learned, most likely. You've been like super generous. Yeah. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you think that it was worth that much, but I think you're a little unbalanced as far as how much you've given versus how much you've gotten from the channel. But that's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide and identify. Okay, so let me talk about my normal architecture for how I do server-side data implementations. I actually end up doing both client and server the same way. It's just that when I try to do things from the client side, I just do a HTTP request to an API endpoint, and that API endpoint is the thing that calls the database, or calls the server side implementations. Onwards to 100 gives. Oh, I think that would be an instance where you put the kappa face. Kappa, 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 kappa. Am I using it correctly? Um, thrown off. So we have, like I said, we have account management, we have lookup list management, and we have payment type stuff, transactions. So what I normally do is in my shared library, or I guess here now I have an abstractions library that, yeah, that I need to rethink my strategy. I have a service interfaces folder, and in that service interfaces, that's where I put all of the definitions for how you're going to retrieve data. One thing that I have seen before is having the same named interface on both the server side and the client side in a Blazor WebAssembly app, for example. And they have different method definitions, which is kind of confusing to me because it's like I would prefer to use one service interface for the implementations for client and server, especially since I like having the ability to switch between Blazor Server and Blazor WebAssembly, and then not have to maintain multiple interfaces. But I don't know. I just didn't like that other approach. So anyway, we're gonna create, I don't even know what to name it, an iAccount service, accounts service. Sure. And this is gonna look a lot like a repository. But we'll have things like task response. Right. So in creating our services, what I like to have is always a response model of some sort being returned by whatever kind of service call we're doing. So if we are doing a service call that says, add this to the database, usually you get an int back that says how many records were affected. Or if you do a delete, you would also get an int back. Or if you do an update, then you get the URL to the resource that was updated or whatever, depending on what type of API you're using. But for me, I like using a response model. So let's create that object. This is what a response model looks like. And yeah, I know I did say that we're going to do test-driven development, and we are. So I'm not just kind of willy-nilly just going to implement this. But I think in order to use test-driven development, you have to have the models and the service or whatever class you are testing. I could be wrong. Yeah, I believe it'll be XUnit. That's what I have the most familiarity with, and that means that I've used it like 3 times. So you can see that in the testing library, I have bunit, which is Eagle Hansen's project / product. And on top of that, I'm using XUnit, but you could use any of your favorite testing frameworks with bunit. So bunit will be doing all of our component testing and making sure that things render the way that they're supposed to. When you click a button, it takes you to the right place. JavaScript calls happen, etc. So let's work on a response model. No, he told me not to say that ever. So I will not read that out loud. I'm going to open one of my other projects because I'm too lazy to recreate the response model. Actually, the one that I wanted to open was treatment plants because that would be the most recent iteration. Now I gotta wait for this. I don't want to wait for this. Treatment plant. Hey, a treatment plant. Upload dodo. I said Eagle's name and I just got a message back from him. Okay. I do need to set this thing. Clock. Turn this one on for today. Turn this one off for today. There we go. Okay. That's hilarious though. Maybe he's lurking. I don't know. I never check. Like I think there's a way that I could see who all is in the stream, but I never check. Treatment pants. This is treatment pants, which was the most recent project that I was working on before I left the company that I used to work at. And it was fun. The end. I loved it, the projects that we got to work on. I loved it, the freedom. And it was a good experience. Oh, here it is. Response motor. Hello. Tuesday at 1. Yes, Tuesday at 1 works. All right. I'll have to review that after we're done with all of our meetings for the day. So I'm also being asked to help out with another with another thing next week since I'll be off for I'll be in that work stoppage for 2 weeks. What was I doing? Hello. Hello. See, and this is, yeah. Oh my gosh. This is where it gets so confusing for me. It's like I want to have a model interface for general models. Response model, iResponse model.cs, but I kind of don't want to. Good timing, Zuris. Hello, I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. It's Friday. So I was trying to go with this approach where I have an entire abstraction library that my UI references. And so I won't have any concrete classes that are implemented. That way, if I needed to switch out my implementation, and I'll go more into this in a second, but if I go more, or if I wanted to switch out the implementation when doing testing, for example, or maybe we have a new, or 2 different environments, one environment for dev and one environment for production that have different logic for performing each of the service tasks, then I would be able to just define for that project how to do this, how to do the operations. And I will be a lot more clear as soon as I create this. Dang. Yeah, I don't know how to do this one. This is really terrible, but I'm going to go ahead and not use an interface for this model specifically and only have this. You can, and again, I'll show you some examples, and I will be more complete with my thoughts. I forgot to create this in a folder. Okay, let me impasta. I don't think I installed Newtonsoft into this project, so I'm gonna not use that. And that also sucks because now I have a dependency on the components. Okay, so the question here is, when should we use interfaces? Why would you want to use interfaces? And then you did follow up with a good answer, so that they force the class you implement them in to follow the rules of the interface. Can't you do that with classes too? You absolutely can. When we are thinking about this in terms of dependency injection or serializing objects to be sent back and forth in API calls, that's really difficult to manage when you're using something like an abstract class. So this response model base here could be my my thing that forces you to use specific things. So let's say this was an abstract class response model base. And every single one of my public methods here, public methods and properties, were abstract and did not have their own implementation. And then I had another class that was derived off of this that implemented all of those. So my response model itself would be the implementing class that implements response model base. Base is the future, where we overwrite all of the things that need to be overwrited. And then we do the actual implementation in that class. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Except that these need to now, everywhere that says abstract, say override. Okay. And these could be virtual, they could be abstract, whatever. If we declare them as abstract, then it'd be a lot like making this an interface. I'm thinking while I'm typing, but when I am considering this, when to use an interface, let me clean all of this up. We'll make it a real abstract class. Oh yeah. Do, do. How important is it to learn abstract classes? Abstract classes are really, really useful and helpful. Abstract virtual. So I don't know. Importance wise, I think they're good to know. They're really good to know. This is a terrible example, actually. What I probably want to do instead is make one of my services an abstract class. So let me do that instead. Give me this back. Okay. Let's do one of our services instead. Let's say this account service, we wanted to make an account service base as our abstract class. And I would provide things that this thing should be able to do as public abstract task of response model base, or response model. And this is going to be add, let's just say it's add account. And we're going to use the I account view model. Oh my goodness, these are really hard. We're going to use, so I can't use any of those because they don't exist in this library. I guess this would be an iLookup item view model. So ignore this part real quick, just for a minute. Is there no such, yeah. So you would be of int, for example. Think of it as useful words. I don't know what you mean. Oh, it must be a reference type. Okay. Okay, are you good now? Are we happy? Are we okay? So let's say that I wanted to implement this. Then what I would normally do when I have a service is I would have a client-side implementation. And where's my client project? It would be in Web. You there. And actually, I would have a shared client. But that's okay. For now, we're just going to make this simple. Services. And this would be my account service. Accounts service probably is what I called it. And so this thing would implement, yes, that, but you could just do it with a using statement, please. Arigato. So much fun. Okay, so here's where I get stuck. I want to be able to provide this as both a client-side implementation and a server-side implementation. When I go to dependency inject this, would I be able to do something like, and this is me thinking out loud, builder.services dot, let's say it's scoped, account service, accounts service. It is. That is possible. And then in my testing library, so I'll explain the dependency injection as well. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining any of it because I'm thinking out loud at the same time. My normal alternative is to have an iAccount service, an interface for it, and then pass in the concrete implementation versus having an abstract class that I implement. So why would I choose the interface over the abstract class? I don't know that I have a good answer for you. I don't think I have a good answer for you. That sucks. Right now, you can do either or, but I'm sure that there are plenty of differences that make it to where the industry standard is using an interface. So dependency injection real quick. When you are having your application, your actual application that is going to be used, go through the setup process, what we are instructing the application to do is prepare whatever we want to put into this thing called a dependency injection container. We want to prepare all of those objects so that when we request one of those objects in, let's say, our user interface, so in our pages, we would have an accounts management page. That would maybe be account, and we would ask for an account service. So in this case, account service base, account service. Yeah. Anyway, so this is going to say, do we already, for our current scope, have an account service base object, whatever we're providing for that account service base object, which is our actual account service implementation. Do we already have one for this session? That's what add scoped is. If not, create one, create a new one, and then provide that to this. If there was already one that was created in the session, then provide that one as well. So we leave this page and then come back to it. Then we still have our existing account service for that session. We could also make it transient, which means every single time we come here, give us a brand new one. We could make it singleton, which means for everyone that uses the same application, provide the same instance of that object. So that's just a quick rundown of what dependency injection is. You register it into the dependency injection container on setup, and then you ask for it whenever you need it. And then it's provided by the dependency injection stuff. Can we make a doubleton? Of course you can. Just add 2 singletons, obviously. Sorry, I was responding to a message. 11ton. We can make 11tons. It sounds like a British place. Have you ever been to 11ton? It's just up the street from Tenton. Okay, so I want to wrap up that thought, though. There's probably a lot more overhead. I don't know, maybe we can look it up real quick. Actually just compare. C# compare interfaces with abstract classes. Whatever, interface with abstract classes. Let me glance through this. If you want to read it as well, here is the link that I just now found. Number 1 link, of course, I click on the very first thing for my Google result because that's the one that has the right answer every time. Abstract classes don't provide full abstraction, but an interface does provide full abstraction. Both a declaration and definition is given in an abstract class, but not so in an interface. Using abstract, we cannot achieve multiple inheritance. Right. Okay. So that's another reason. That's a good reason. When you are inheriting from something else, you can only inherit from one class, but multiple interfaces. Let's say I disposable, I clonable, I notify property changed. They can actually. They're coming up with in the newest C# language default implementations and interfaces, or default values even, which is odd, but yeah. You cannot declare a member field in an interface, so that's another good one. So by, I'll translate this into English. So by member field in interfaces, we would not be able to do this is a abstract class. Just take me to here, and I'll do Shift F. I'll just create it right down here. Public interface account iAccount service. Okay, so we can declare a private or protected. I'll do one of each. Let's just make them strings. And this will be coffee 1. And this will be taco 2. Yes, because those go together. And look, they are exactly the same length per line. So you can have private fields inside of your abstract class, but you cannot have private fields in member instances inside of your interface, because there's no way for anything to access these. So you can't be like, if you inherit from iAccount service, then you must have a private member named coffee1 that is a string, because the interface doesn't care. Because when you're trying to use this interface, you aren't trying to access any of these private fields. It's just not visible to anyone to be able to access. You can't put constructors. So you can't use access modifiers like public, private, protected, internal, because with an interface, everything is public. And interface members cannot be defined using the keywords static, virtual, abstract, or sealed. Is that true? We can have public, static, some method. Oh, public static string, some method, return string.empty. And so we could use iAccountService.some method if we wanted to. Can we have, static string some prop get? Let's just make it a read-only prop. And that will always get string.empty. So yeah, you can also have static properties that are exposed so that you can do iAccountService.someProp. So I'm not exactly sure what that one means, or if it's just been replaced. Okay, so the thing that I would really like to find to wrap this up neatly is, what are the implications of using an abstract class versus an interface during dependency injection, during Json serialization and deserialization? So one thing that you'll notice when trying to do JSON work, so turning an object into a string that represents that object, aka JSON, and then going from some string that represents an object to an interface or abstract class, you're going to notice that there's going to be issues for either one of them. So when you're deserializing to an object, that object must be instantiable, or you should write a custom serializer that will be able to determine what the object type is and then return the actual concrete class for that type. So I'm seeing a should there. Juan Van is saying an abstract class should always have a base implementation. So here, this would violate that should always have a base implementation. I was under the impression that you wouldn't even be able to declare bodies when you mark a method as abstract. Or is that not what you mean? Do you mean that when you create an abstract class, you should always have another public class accounts service that inherits or implements account service base? And this would be my base implementation. Okay, so the fact that each method should have a body. So in this case, this is kind of contrary to that point, where not all methods have a body, because some of them might be declared as abstract and say, you implement this, much like an interface. Like if the equivalent to the stuff up there would be task response model. I can't spell. Base int, add a coconut. I look up item view model. Item. And so this is the equivalent of the abstract class. So what I would really like to know is during dependency injection, do you get some kind of performance boost for interfaces? Is it maybe easier to, oh yeah, okay. So let's say that I did have a method with a base implementation in my abstract class. Public virtual, let's say. Some other method. Oh, you need a return type. And that just returns 0 every time. What a good method. Such a smart method. And I wanted to do testing on it. I don't know. Yeah, based off of this list up here, I wouldn't choose one over the other. I wouldn't be able to choose one over the other when I'm considering dependency injection for client-side implementations, server-side implementations, and test implementations. This is not what an interface definition looks like. That's ugly. That's ugly. I'm kidding. So I guess like my default is I would always reach for an interface unless I have logic that needs to be the same for all of the classes that inherit that base object. And I'm just thinking that there's got to be something to do with the structure of how an abstract class is allocated. Like maybe an interface is more lightweight since you're not really doing anything with the interface itself. You're kind of ignoring it. Versus an abstract class that may or may not have implementation details in it. Man, I don't have a good answer for you so far. Yeah, you can have default method implementations, access modifiers like public and private. You can define if a field is static. Since C#8. I guess if I also needed private fields to be held within the the abstract class. So let's say that I had some internal tracking that nothing else used, and I had a private method that was called during one of the other method calls. I don't know. It's very convoluted. But then I would reach for an abstract class. I can't describe. I can't give you a hard rule for when to use interfaces versus when to use abstract classes. Not from this one article, at least. It's a good topic, though. Maybe we should go into more research in this because I'm a fan of always adopting better practices, but I'm not a fan of switching from one practice to another and then back to the other because the other one I find some more information about being better, and then it's like, oh no, this other one is better, and then back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. And I'm like, no, yet. Um, So abstract classes is on the left for anyone that can't see this terrible, terrible, whatever this is called, contrast, and interfaces is on the right. Multiple inheritance. Yeah, so multiple inheritance is a big one. But if I'm going to do that, then I would just have my, yeah, there would be no easy way to do that. The performance of an abstract class is fast. The performance of interface is slow because it requires time to search actual method in the corresponding class. That doesn't, I mean, I hope that whoever posted this has done research and their due diligence to make that statement, but that doesn't seem right to me. I would have thought the opposite, but I have not done my due diligence, so that's just my opinion. 5 different classes can inherit from the same abstract class. Yes, absolutely. So multiple inheritance means, let's say that I have my response model base as an abstract class and my account service as an abstract class. Pullback. And this thing said you must, if you want to implement response model base, actually not even that, no, let's just make it virtual. When you implement response model base, you will get for free this string as HTML that returns div with another div inside of it. I keep putting div with 2 more divs inside of it with, you know, here's HTML. You get this for free. So now I want to implement my account service that also implements response model base. Accounts service response model. div. Class. Okay. And so I want this thing to get everything from account service as well as everything from response model base. And thank you so much for that. How am I supposed to answer you when you're being super kind? Wait, no. Thank you so much for that. Let's say, for the sake of this example, that not everything that inherits account service will also inherit response model base. Only this one specific thing will also do response model base. Then in order to actually achieve that, I would need to have a public class accounts service, for example, that will inherit or implement account model base. And this thing here would need to be an account model base that also inherits response model base. And so we still can't do that. So at some point in time, we need something that this thing inherits to also inherit response model base. And so we're looking at an inheritance chain that is not achievable with this structure. But if we had an iAccount service and we had a interface iResponse model, and this thing had this thing said, when you inherit me, you must implement string as HTML with no implementation details. Then you could chain as many of these as you want together, because you can inherit from as many interfaces as you want. So we're getting red squigglies because they don't have the implementations, but you just don't get that implementation for free. So yes, that is correct. In an interface, you don't get the access to all the methods. So when you're deciding to use an interface, you really are creating some structure that whatever inherits it is promising to implement all of those methods in whatever way it wants to, provided that it takes the same inputs and gives the same output. And so for me, when we're looking at an account service, so let's get all the way back to this account service example. When we're creating an account service implementation on the client side, iAccount service, we would be doing something like HTTP client, asking for a HTTP client, and this thing would return HTTP client.get, what is this, add account? Dang it. Let's do get account by ID or something, just to make this super duper easy. Int ID. And then this thing is going to give us an account. I forgot what we used. I look up item view model of account view model, which we can't do. It's just going to be of iAccount or iLookup. Okay. Then this would be return get from JSON async I lookup item. So this is where a lot of stuff gets funky, because I decided to start using interfaces for my view models as well, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do this without needing a whole bunch of custom converters for my JSON. And then we would do some endpoint like account/ID, IID. Okay, so this might be what an implementation looks like. You are not override. Hello? No. No. I have to get ready for that meeting very soon. Just give me something easy. Let's just do, I know that deserializing to an int doesn't actually work the way that you think it should. Oh, never mind, I know what it was. I didn't do response model base. My bag. Okay, there we go. And then I get this might end up being null, and you might want to default implementation, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so this would be my implementation on the client side. So then I would also have a server-side implementation that I have a project called Shared Server that all of my server-side projects would be able to use, including those that are the full web application but lives on the server and is served from the server, rendered on the server, served from the server. Everything happens on the server. Everything happens in Cancun accounts service. So this one would also implement iAccount service. It, you don't really need this time, I promise. Just let me do it. Just let me do it. I have a meeting to get to. Visual Studio, you jerk. Okay, well, I would have an implementation on the server that actually gets resources like give me the database context, give me the HTTP context if there is one, because most of the services that I write are being used during HTTP requests. So I would most likely have a HTTP context, and that would give me things like the user that was maybe provided by a cookie or the header information, the custom header information from the HTTP request itself. If I needed to get form data specifically from the request, I could do it that way. But I would have different things that I need for this server-side implementation of the same interface versus if I'm using an abstract class, then that usually would mean that I have implementations that are going to be reused for the different implementations of that. So I see abstract classes as being when you have reusable logic that you want to use in multiple inheriting classes, use an abstract class, write that logic in there, reuse it in multiple places. I see interfaces as we don't have any default values, we don't have any default implementations of any of the methods. You will need to specify it every time, and that's usually the case for services, for things that you want to test. Yeah, that's what I got. Oh. So that's my summary. That's my closing statement on abstract classes versus interfaces. I put my hand on my bottle and I crashed Visual Studio. So anyway, like I said, I do need to head to a meeting that I wasn't expecting to have scheduled. So I apologize for ending the stream earlier than I normally would. But thank you so much for that question, Zuris. That was a great question. I wish I could give you more simplified. There's a simple way to answer your question, but I don't know enough about the benefits and drawbacks of using abstract classes versus interfaces. So I usually don't stream on the weekends. I will be back again on Monday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And that is UTC -6. If you want to know what time it is now for me, just bang UTC and then you can do the math. And yeah. But yeah, I hope to see you again. Awesome. It looks like Zuris is coming back on Monday. Awesomely. I really appreciate you being here. Absolutely. All questions are welcome that are technology related. Start asking about my personal life. We might have some problems. I tell you all about my personal life for the things that I want to discuss. So if it's questions along those lines, that's awesome. Otherwise, technology stuff and things that I might not know anything about that I would also love to explore. Oh my goodness, I love those questions. Yeah, nerd sniping is the name of the game, and I am easily sniped. Get in your headshots, get in your points. Anyway, enjoy your weekend though. Until I see you again, and stay fun, stay chill, stay cool. And also remember to change your password. Yes, Dukasoft reminded me. All of my videos are posted to YouTube 24 hours after the stream. And yeah, maybe we'll do some actual testing on Monday. But great conversation today. Definitely feel like it was a benefit and worth our time. All right, ciao for now. I'll see you on the laters.